In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at solving two-step equations. Example 1, how do I solve two-step equations? All right, so again, what we're looking at is we're looking at applying those properties of equality in order to isolate the variable. And the first step I like to do is I like to draw the line down, and we're trying to get this x all by itself by undoing the things around it. So we're going to start with that minus 7. One of the things I want you to think about is, remember, we had learned about the uh, order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And remember, we had the parentheses, the exponents. This was the multiply and divide, and then it was the add and subtract. And so when we're isolating that variable, we are undoing the order of operations. We're doing it backwards. So therefore, we have to start with this addition and subtraction. I also like to look at it as what is further away from the variable, that 3 or the minus 7? Well, since that minus 7 is not touching it, that 3 is, we're going to start there. So to undo a minus 7, we're going to apply that addition property of equality by adding 7 to both sides. And now I'll have 3x is equal to 15. And now what is that 3 doing to the variable? It's multiplying. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. And x is equal to then 5. Now, again, just like with the one-step equations, it's important to be able to go back and check your answer. So we're going to plug in this 5 right here for that x. So if I took 3 times 5 minus 7, is that equal to 8? So I have 15 minus 7 equal to 8. Well, 15 minus 7 is 8. 8 is equal to 8. And there you have that is the solution. All right, number 2, I have x divided by 4 minus 3 is equal to 5. All right, since that x is, or the 4 is closer to that x, we're going to start with the 3. And again, we're undoing the order of operations, so we're going to undo that subtraction first. So I'm going to undo that by adding the 3 to both sides. All right, so now what is that 4 doing to the variable? So if you ever get stuck on them, I always look at, okay, what is that number doing to the variable? Well, in this case, the 4 is dividing that x, so I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. And x is equal to then 32. So let's go ahead and let's just double check it. And we'll take 32 divided by 4 minus 3. Is that equal to 5? 34 divided by 4 is 8 minus 3. And 8 minus 3 is 5. And now you know you have the right answer. All right, number 3, we have 2/3 x plus 5 is equal to 25. All right, in this case, again, we're going to start here, and I'm going to subtract the 5 on both sides. All right, so now that 2/3, you can either do this using your calculator. I'm going to get a repeating decimal, so I'm probably not going to write that down. Or remember, dividing a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So if I come over here and I multiply by 3 all over 2, all right, I'm going to cross simplify here. All right, so 10 times 3 is 30 all over 1, so x is equal to then 30. All right, let's try it. If I have 2/3 times 30 plus 5, is that equal to 25? So 2/3 of 30 is 20, plus 5 is 20 plus 5 equal to 25? Yep, 25. All right, example 2. It says, how do I solve two-step equations by simplifying first? So sometimes we're going to have to combine like terms or distribute before you can start bringing things from side to side. So again, I'm always going to start by drawing down the line, that fence. And here, notice I have 11 minus 9. Now, when you have like terms on each side, you need to combine those first. I'm not going to do anything with the 9x or the 11x until they're brought together. So 11x minus 9x is going to give me a 2x. And now what's that 2 doing to the variable? It's multiplying. So I'm going to divide. And x is equal to 7. All right, so let's go back and let's practice a few of our problems. And so again, here I have 10 is equal to 3x minus 8. So I can't combine anything, so I'm going to start bringing things from side to side. And again, that 8 is further away from that x, so I'm going to undo that 8 by adding it. All right, and now that negative 3 is multiplying the x, so I'm going to divide by negative 3, and x will be equal to negative 6. All right, number 2, I have x divided by 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So let's start here. I'm going to start by subtracting out the 4. Now, what's that 2 doing to the variable? It's dividing, so I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. And x is equal to 4. All right, number 3, I have 1/2 x minus 3 is equal to 4. And now again, I have minus 3, so I'm going to add the 3. All right, and so now I've got the 1/2 x. You could either multiply it by the reciprocal, or you could say, all right, I'm going to take what's 1 divided by 2, and in this case, you're not going to end up with a long decimal, and you could divide by 0.5. Here, I just think it's easier. What's multiplied by the reciprocal? I'm going to take 2 all over 1, and x is equal to 14, and you get the same thing over here if you plug that into your calculator. All right, in our last one, we have 7y minus 9y is equal to 12. And again, this one, you can combine these like terms, so we need to do that first. 7y minus 9y is negative 2y is equal to 12. And now that negative 2 is multiplying, so I'm going to divide. And I'm going to then have negative 6. All right, in this lesson, we took a look at solving two-step equations by applying the properties of equality.